Hello students, welcome back to my YouTube channel Mathematical Lens by Namita. In this video, we are going to continue with chapter number 6, Perimeter and Area of Grade 6 Mathematics of the new NCERT textbook Ganitha, Prakash. And we are going to solve the figure it out exercise given on page number 132. So let us solve it one by one. Figure it out, find the missing terms. So in this case, question number 1a, perimeter of the rectangle is given and breadth is given. We need to find out the length. So let us try to solve this. So first let us write down the facts. What is given is perimeter of rectangle is equal to 14 centimeter and breadth is given as 2 centimeter and we need to find out the length. Right, so I'll give you one formula to directly find out. We can use the formula which we have used for finding the perimeter of rectangle, but there is another way. Like if you want to find out the length, you will divide perimeter by 2 minus breadth, right? Because we have multiplied by 2, so we divide by 2 and then just subtract the breadth. And so in case you have to find out the breadth, same thing, this length and breadth will be replaced, right? So what do we do? What is perimeter is 14 upon 2. We divide 14 by 2 minus 2. 14 by 2 first divide always. So 14 divided by 2 is 7 minus 2. So you get 7 minus 2 is 5 centimeter. Right? So the length of the rectangle will be 5 centimeter. This is the length. Right? So you can use this formula to find out the length or the breadth of a rectangle when perimeter is given. Now we take question number B of the same question. Now in B, what is given? It is perimeter of a square is given. So perimeter of a square is 20 centimeter and we need to find out the side of the length. What will be the side? Length of the side. Okay. Actually, it should be length of the side. According to me, maybe I am wrong, but that's the way given in the textbook. So I just write down side. Or you can just write down length, that is asked. Now here again there is a formula. You can directly see when we find out perimeter of a square, we are multiplying it by 4. So if you want to find out the side of the square, we divide the perimeter by 4. As simple as that. So perimeter is 20, 20 divided by 4. So again here the side is 5 centimeter. Right? Don't forget to write the units. That's very important. So side will be 5 centimeter. Question number C. Now in C again, perimeter is given. So perimeter of a rectangle is 12 centimeter, 12 meter, okay. 12 meter and length is, now see in this case length is given. The first question breadth was given. So length is equal to 3 meters. We need to find out the breadth. Okay. So again we use the same formula. Breadth will be equal to perimeter divided by 2 minus length. Okay. So if we divide, perimeter is 12. So we divide 12 by 2 and we subtract length, that is 3. So 12 by 2 is 6 6 minus 3 is 3 meters. So the breadth will be 3 meters. Now if you observe here, the length is 3 and the breadth is also 3. What does that mean? Both length and breadth are same. That means it's not a rectangle, it's a square, right? Question number 2. A rectangle having side length of 5 centimeter and 3 centimeter is made using a piece of wire. What is done then? The wire, then it is straightened and then bent to form a square. So with the same length of the wire, what will be the length of the side of a square? Now here, first you need to understand, one is length and the breadth of the rectangle is given. Then it is straightened. It is straightened and then bent to a square. So what is the length of the wire when a rectangle, there is a rectangle and then it is, this is length, this is length, this is breadth, this is breadth, right? So if it is open and it is straightened, means this is open and it is straightened, means that is the perimeter of the rectangle, right? So first what we'll do, we'll find out the perimeter of the rectangle, which will be equal to the length of the wire, right? And then the length of the square will also be the same. So then we can find out the side of the square. So now, first we write down the length of the rectangle, whatever are the facts given, which is equal to 5 centimeter, and the breadth of the rectangle again I told you that it's a word problem, so always write proper statements, is equal to 3 centimeter. So first thing is we find out the perimeter of rectangle. So perimeter of the rectangle would be, remember the formula, we'll use the formula here, 2 into L plus B. No need to write length plus breadth, you can write in short form. So what is the length is 5 plus 3, 5 plus 3 is 8, 2 8s are 16 centimeter. Right, now what is this? This will be the length of the wire, right? So the perimeter of the rectangle is equal to the length of the wire. Why? Because the same boundary, the length of the rectangle, the perimeter of the rectangle is opened and turned into a wire. So that will be equal to 6 centimeter, right? Now, this wire is bent to make a square. Right? So, therefore, 16 centimeter is the perimeter of the square, right? Because using the same length, same wire, they have made a square. Now we have learned that if we know the perimeter of the square, we can find out its side, right? So side will be equal to perimeter divided by 4, that is 16 divided by 4, which will be equal to 4 centimeter, right? So each side of the square formed with this wire will be 4 centimeter. Question number 3. Find the length of the third side of a triangle having perimeter 55 and having two sides 20 and 14 centimeter respectively. Okay. So perimeter is given and two sides are given. Let us find out the third side. Now in answer question number 3, what are the facts given? It's a triangle. So perimeter of triangle is given, which is 55 centimeter. Then one side is is 20 centimeter. Second side is 14 centimeter, and we need to find out the third side. So this you can understand by a diagram. Like suppose you draw a triangle, right? One side is 20, second side is 14. We need to find out third side, and the total length, that is perimeter, is given as 55. So what can we do? We add these two sides and subtract it. From 55 we get the third side of the triangle. Okay, so perimeter of triangle will be equal to this 20 plus 14 plus the third side. Okay, so perimeter is 55 will be equal to 20 plus 14 plus, we can take the third side as x also. So 20 plus 14 is 34, and when we subtract this is x. (55) minus 34, because when we do transposition, when we take one value on the other side of an equation, the sign changes. Okay, so we write x is equal to 21 centimeter. That is third side of the triangle will be 21 centimeter. Okay, that's your answer number 3. Question number 4. What would be the cost of fencing a rectangular park whose length is 150 and breadth is 120? Now you should remember some facts. The word like fencing. Fencing means you are putting a boundary around the park. So boundary means perimeter, right? And they have also asked the cost. So we'll deal with the cost later on. First we find out the length of the boundary, that is the perimeter. So first again we write down the facts. The length of the park is 150 meters. Then the breadth of the park is 120 meters, and the cost of fencing is why I'm telling you need to remember this word fencing, because later on once you complete the chapter perimeter and area both, then children get confused in word problems and it's difficult to identify whether you need to find out area or perimeter, right? So fencing means boundary, boundary means perimeter. Also you can see the cost here. Cost is per meter. In perimeter we write the same unit, meters. Okay, in area we will write square units, that I'll tell you a little later. So from this also you can identify that we need to find out the perimeter, of course. So now we first find out the perimeter. So perimeter of rectangle is equal to 2 into L plus B. So 2 into 150 plus 120. 150 plus 120 is 270. So 270 multiplied by 2 is 540 meters. This is the length of the boundary of the park, right? Now we also need to find out the cost of fencing. Now cost of fencing is 40 per meter. That means for 1 meter it is 40 rupees. So we need to find out for 540 meters. So cost of fencing would be the perimeter multiplied by the cost, that is 540 multiplied by 40, right? So you can simply multiply, you can put these zeros, 2 zeros first, and then multiply 54 by 4. So 4 4s are 16, 6, 1 carried, 4 5s are 20 plus 1 21. Right, so this way you can just uh, get the answer very quickly. And just see the rupees symbol. It is always put before the number and not after the number, rupees symbol. Okay, so that's the cost of the fencing of the rectangular park. Question number 5. A piece of string is 36 centimeter long. What will be the length of each side if it is used to form? First is a square, means with the same string you are forming a square. Then second is you are forming a triangle with all sides of equal length. And third is you are forming an hexagon with 6 sides, right, of equal length. That is a regular hexagon, right? Regular means with all sides equal, right? So it is similar to what we did in question number 2. Means with the same wire they formed a rectangle and a square. So here it is similar. This concept is similar. You can use one same string to form a square, to form a rectangle, to form a hexagon. That means what is this piece of string is the perimeter. The length of the string means the perimeter for that particular shape. So let us find out the answer of all three. So we can say that the perimeter or the length of the string is 36 centimeter. It is 36 centimeter long, right? And we find out first is square is made using it, right? So that means the perimeter of the square is given. How to find out the side? Side will be perimeter divided by 4. This type of sum we did earlier. Whatever are the number of sides you can divide if it is a regular figure. Regular figure means with all sides equal. So you can simply divide it by the number of sides. So 36 divided by 4, that is answer will be 9 centimeter. 9 4s are 36. So the side of the square will be 9 centimeter. Right. Now as I told you, whatever are the number of sides, it divide by that. So in question number 5b, they are forming a triangle with all equal sides. So the side of the triangle would be, triangle has how many sides? 3 sides. So we divide it by 3. So perimeter divided by 3 in this case. So perimeter is 36. 36 divided by 3 is 12. 3s are 36. So 12 centimeter is the answer. Now in C, they are forming a hexagon. Again, it is a regular hexagon with all sides equal. So to find the side of the hexagon, hexagon has how many sides? 6 sides. This facts you should know. Otherwise it is very easy. So perimeter will be divided by 6. So 36 divided by 6, that will be equal to 6 centimeter. Right? So with the same string you have formed a square, a triangle and a hexagon, and it's very simple. Whatever are the number of sides, you divide it by that to get the side of the particular shape. Number 6. A farmer has a rectangular field. You can see the rectangular field, and the length is 230 meters, breadth is 160 meters. He wants to fence it with 3 rounds of rope. What is the total length of the rope needed? So though he wants to make 3 rounds, first we find out for 1 round. And 1 round of the rope means we find out the perimeter and then multiply it by 3. Okay, so let us solve. So answer number 6. First we write down the facts, that is the length of the field is equal to 230 meters. Then the breadth of the field is 160 meters. and he wants to make 3 rounds. First we find out for 1 round. Okay, so we find out the perimeter. So perimeter of rectangle. Now by now you would have learned the formulas, that is 2 into L plus B. So 2 bracket 230 plus 160. So first what we do, we add the two sides. So 230 plus 160 will be 390, and then we multiply it by 2, so we get it as 780 meters. That is the fencing if he does only 1 round of fencing, but he wants to do 3 rounds of fencing. So we can write down here that farmer wants to fence it 3 times or 3 rounds. Okay, so we multiply it. So total length of rope will be will be 3 multiplied by 70 because 3 rounds. Okay, so now if we multiply, we first put a 0 here. Remember that 3 8s are 24, 4 2 carried, 3 7s are 21, plus 2 is 23. So 2340 meters, that is 2 kilometers 340 meters wire, in case you are asked to convert. So this much rope will be needed by the farmer. Okay, so with this we have covered up the figure it out exercise given on page number 132. We'll continue with this chapter in the next video. Thank you.